Hello everyone on Patreon and on YouTube. This is Hasani Walker. Don't mind the amazingly bright light to the side there. I'm recording this at a different time. So in this video I want to talk about timing, or at least frames, in stop motion animation. In the last video I talked about the programs best for frame grabbing. So basically now if you I guess have the programs like Monkey Jam if you're just starting out, or if you want to go further, there's Dragon Frame. But now I'd just like to get into exactly the number of, I guess, frame per second for stop motion. Now, in animation, there's usually two options. There's animating on twos and animating on ones. Animating on ones is 24 frames for every second. Animating on twos is 12 frames for every second. Now, with stop motion, when you see stop motion on feature films like Nightmare Before Christmas, Coraline, for the most part, those are actually being done on ones. So it's all 24 frames per second. Although other films, I mean, like Wes Anderson films, where he really wants it to have like a handmade look, those are typically done on 12 frames per second. Now, on Coraline, Coraline actually has a scene with twos, so you can really see the difference, or if you want to like compare watching a movie and then suddenly see twos, Coraline is 24 frames per second. When Mr. Bobinsky goes to the other world and sees the whole mouse circus, the mice are on twos. Those are actually 12 frames per second. It's because there were so many of them. It was just easier to do the scene on twos to help that scene. I mean, when you see it, there's a ton of mice on there, so that was just the best way to do it. So in terms of what I do, I actually film my stop motion the same way that I would do 2D animation. And 2D animation is typically on twos with moving to ones for any kind of quick motion. So I'm usually doing 12 frames per second, but then if my character does something quick, or like needs to look at something fast, or reaches for something, or just any like a surprised motion out of nowhere, I go in and I start deleting frames so that it gets a quicker motion on those parts. And if you watch the last few My Bedroom Door episodes, you'll probably see this. There's parts where the character will look at something quickly, or they get surprised, and you can see that the motion there goes from, I guess, like the basic motion, but then they'll go like really quick to show the surprise, to show just like the gravity, like what's going on. And that's me putting them on ones after them being on twos. So, and the nice thing about this is the programs I recommended, Dragon Frame and Monkey Jam, actually have an option on there, so you can switch to 12 frames per second or 30 frames, or 24 frames per second. They actually do have a 30 frames per second, 15 frames per second. So there's different options. Just 12s and 24 are the norm. You can experiment if you want. I mean, this is all just an art form, so there's not like, I mean, that's what's typically done. There's not like a rule like you have to do you have to do like 12 or 24, or otherwise it's not animation. I mean, it's all art. You can do whatever you want. You can see if 15 frames per second gives you something that you really like. 30 frames per second, which would be a little bit, I mean, you have to do a little more work, but maybe it's something that you get a result that you really love. So it's always good to experiment. I mean, it's just like in any form, any art form, it's always good to experiment. But yeah, I'm just basically telling you what the typical idea is and what usually goes on in terms of when people are animating. So I hope this helps. So when you get the programs, Dragon Frame or Monkey Jam, or I guess anything else that you prefer, that's basically the norm on animation. 12s and on 2s and 1s. And if you really want to, I guess, see the difference or know the difference, the way I always thought of it was stop motion on 1s is Nightmare Before Christmas. Stop motion on 2s is like Fantastic Mr. Fox, and both are amazing. It's really more what style you're going for. And if you want to know exactly why I use 2s on my bedroom door, it's because, I mean, it's a web series and I'm the only one that's animating on it, so that just makes it go quicker. So that's really the main excuse that I use for filming on 2s. So that's that on that information. I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, remember to put them in the comment section. I'll get to answering questions as soon as I can. Also, if you want to support more videos like the My Bedroom Door series and also get more access to behind the scenes stuff and other information, you can join my Patreon page at patreon.com/Hasani Studios. There'll be a link at the end of the video, also in the description. And yes, so remember to subscribe to see more videos. I hope this information is good for you, and I hope that it gets you interested in doing some stop motion animation. So I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.